So, this week I wanted to talk about the 30-day sexuality challenge, because why the hell not? I can, but I'm just gonna go through as many of them as I can, like right now, within a reasonable time frame, so whatever. What is your romantic/sexual orientation? I am an asexual, and if you want to round to the nearest romantic orientation, I'd probably be homoromantic. Are you out? To whom? Yes. Everybody. How old were you when you first realized you were asexual? What made you realize it? Understanding the concept that I was different in a fundamental way, in an asexy way, was probably high school when everyone started to pair up, and I was like, wait, why is everyone dating? Really? I thought it was a fad, but then they kept doing it. I was like, really? Really? And I asked my brother, like, why do people just date so much? What's in it for them? Like, what do they get out of it? And then he was like, well, you see, girls, they just like to get stuff. And guys like to give them stuff. I'm like, why? Payment for goods and services. And I was like, okay, I don't want that. As for the actual word, I was like, let's see, how old was that? Yeah, I was like 20, God, I'm old, 23 or 24, when I, 23 or 24, something like that, when I found out what asexuality was. I found it online. It was somebody in an art forum that I go to all the time who was describing his feelings, and it was like somebody taking my brain and putting it on a page, which was really, really crazy to me, because I thought I was the only one on the planet. I was very skeptical. I was like, okay, this guy's full of shit. And so I decided to do some research to prove him wrong, and yeah, that didn't go over well. Or, actually, it did go over well, depending on your perspective. Like, yeah. Do you identify as part of the queer community? What communities do you identify with? Well, I haven't been too involved with the queer community. I have to tell you, while I seem like an outgoing kind of, I will blah, talk to you, and I typically do, I am actually very, very nervous when it comes to being vulnerable, and whatever. I wanted to check out the LGBTQ community on campus at my college when I was first coming out to myself, but I was very scared. I wasn't out to anybody, and so I was gonna go to this meeting, but I didn't, because I am deep down a coward and shy. Believe it or not. I'm very good at hiding it. But, yeah, I sat on a chair around the corner and listened to their meeting instead of actually going in. It was a goal this semester to actually go to some of their little meetups and things this semester, but I'm making 4 video games and a $40,000 website and taking classes. Yeah. So what other communities do I identify with? Well, there was no meetup community near me for asexuals, and so I freaking made one, and it's been going for a year, and there are new people just about every time we meet up. So we meet once a month, and it's been really cool and really awesome. I did not anticipate it. I just figured that I'd make the meetup group and go and eat hipster ice cream by myself for a while, forever alone. But, yeah, it's turned out well. Tell the story of the first person you came out to. Okay, I honestly can't remember the first person that I came out to, but I remember one of the first people, and that was my mom, which is probably a mistake, but I did it in a very sneaky kind of way. She asked me about, like, boyfriends and la 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 in the car, and I told her, this was summertime, I told her how I felt, and I went into detail, but I did not say the word asexual. I did not say the word, like, asexuality. And she got quiet, and she nodded after a few moments, and she's like, you know, that actually makes a lot of sense. I didn't ever think of it like that, but yeah, that actually helps me understand you so much more. Thanks for sharing that. Which we don't really have any heart-to-hearts because of reasons that I won't go into. But yeah, I opened myself up to her there, and then I waited 6 months, and I did the exact same thing again. I said how I felt exactly the same way, only this time I dropped the word asexual, and it's been pretty crazy ever since then. It's almost like by saying the word, it's made it more real to her, which makes it a lot more, it makes it more difficult for her to accept because of the whole Mormon thing. I think I have time for 2 more if I go quick. So, have you faced oppression because of your asexuality, or whether institutional or societal? I don't really know how to answer that because I don't know how legitimate my own whiny complaints are, but basically my parents haven't accepted it at all, and it's gotten bad enough that I just don't go home anymore. I try not to, but that's a mixture of being asexual and Mormon, because those two things really collide, and so their rejection of my orientation has a lot of baggage, and it has a lot of religious stuff. I will say I am afraid to come out to my people in my workplace, so I haven't. My bosses are very openly and proudly homophobic. No thank you, I'm homophobic. Like, I've literally heard them say that. And also, the biggest chauvinistic pieces of shit you will ever see. I mean, they're funny people, but in Utah, you can be fired for being gay, and I'm closer to being gay than being straight, so it's just how I feel. Who's your favorite doctor? Or do you have a favorite asexual character? Okay, I have to admit, as far as doctors go, I've seen like 2 episodes of Doctor Who. Yeah, I guess I've broken one of the cardinal rules of being ace. I don't have an obsession with Doctor Who. It was okay. I didn't really care too much, though. David Tennant has an interesting face, and I want to draw it. That is usually a very good compliment. Asexual character? I don't really look for him. I know that a lot of people out there try and cherry pick, like, oh, look, Merida's asexual because she didn't want to get married. It's like, no, it meant that she didn't want to get married. It doesn't mean anything about her sexual attraction, but... sorry, I actually saw that conversation on Facebook, and it was a whole, like, debate, and I'm just like, come on, people, just because a character doesn't want to get married doesn't mean that she is ace. I mean, if you want her to be ace for you, that's cool, but objectively speaking, nah. So, I guess I'm dodging that question big time. Alright, those are all the questions I'm going to go over right now. I'm taking up way too much time anyway, and I'm going to show you my obsidian. Oh my gosh. So I found these on the shores of Yellowstone Lake in Yellowstone National Park on my canoeing backpacking trip. It's volcanic glass. Oh, Igneous, why are you so hot? Or why were you so hot? Sorry, I'm stupid. But yeah, there's some more. This one's not nearly as pure, but hey, whatever, it's reflecty. And then there's this one, and then there's this one, and there's this one. And this one's like the best, but I wonder, it's translucent. It's cool. And then there's these, but you probably won't be able to see, but there's like this rock with all these little pockets of like crystals and things inside them, and I don't know what they're called, but my dad was like, whoa, they're blah 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 blah. I never consult the internet to find out what one of these are, because my dad's usually with me, and he's like, well, there's a blah 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 blah, and I'm like, that's cool, and then I forget. So there you go.